Now, Democrat Senator John Fetterman is drifting further and further away from his past political positions. He was once radically left, but now he says he's no longer a progressive.
Some progressives have criticized you for being a different senator than you suggested you would be when you were a candidate for Senate. What do you say to that?
Well, I wasn't. I was very clear for saying that for years I'm not a progressive, and I just identified myself as just a regular Democrat. So it really wasn't any new news. Now, 8 years ago, I was a progressive, but the situation's changed, and I've been very clear that I didn't leave that label. That label left me.
And that progressive label is now owned by the likes of these imbeciles marching on American soil, calling for Hezbollah, a terrorist group, to kill Zionists. Army, how is that allowed to happen? I'm all for free speech, for protest, for peaceful protest, but when you're calling on terrorists to kill Zionists, which is what they were chanting there, that crosses a line, I would have thought.
Yeah, let's do that one first, and then we'll go back to Fetterman real quick, because I have some thoughts on that as well. Look, this is no shock. This is not about Israel. It really isn't. This is really the anti-Semitism gets to be on full display. It's the quiet part out loud. Now, this is about the intersexual coalition, which has had institutional anti-Semitism built into it by definition. For people who don't know, this is important. Intersectionality is the idea that all victims are connected through their victimhood, and there's a pyramid of oppression. And the higher you up in the pyramid, the more you are an oppressor. So what that says to them, because it's a Marxist ideology, it says to them that Jews, because they are perceived by the left, by the intersexual coalition, to be on the higher end, if not the tippy top of that pyramid, by definition, they are the biggest oppressors. Therefore, they're allowed to call for the killing of Zionists and Jews because they are the fascist oppressors. Now, to get back to Fetterman, which I find endlessly fascinating. Rita, I am a full-on Fetterhead. I admit that, okay? Fetterman is somebody who the Democratic Party should be modeling themselves after if they want to win, right? Kristen Sinema, another example of somebody who was progressive, who moved to the center. She is now no longer running because she doesn't feel at home the Democratic Party. But they're not. They're leaning into the progressive label. Fetterman is an unbelievable case study of this. Look, he was a progressive. He, in fact, sought out the endorsement of the Democratic Socialist Party at one point. At one point, look, he has become a full-on Zionist, hawking the border. At one point, he actually pointed to his wife's undocumented status to show his progressive bona fides. Fetterman's amazing. Fetterman himself has said, I ended up leaving the Progressive Party after my brain damage. I'm going to leave that one alone.
It's incredible, the transformation, and he referred to 8 years ago he's departed from those positions, but I think it's far more recent. Just even a few years ago, 3 years ago, some of those positions he seemed to hold, he's done a radical 180 turn away from them. So yeah, he has become one of the more rational Democrats, sort of the counter to the squad. Now, what about these protesters we saw outside the White House? There seemed to be little consequences for the way they defaced public property, desecrated monuments, attacked officers, and again chanted for intifada and for the killing of Zionists. Why is there this continued tolerance? The Biden administration occasionally comes out and condemns this sort of behaviour, but they're largely allowed to run riot.
Yeah, look, they're simply the administration simply does not want to continue having problems on their left flank. And that if they would start arresting people for things like that, they would have more trouble, and they already have. But unfortunately, what their miscalculation is, it's that kind of behavior which is losing them the election with the more important constituency, which is the independents. The independents look at this and they are disgusted by it. It reminds me of the Black Lives. Look, I was walking around. I went to every major Black Lives Matter riot and rally, and everywhere I saw was defaced, and I didn't see a single arrest of somebody who defaced property, federal, state, local property. It's the same idea. They simply do not want to piss off the left flank.
Ami Horowitz, you are always on the money. Thank you for your time this evening.
Always a pleasure.